am April Mimi. And I am the humble Mr.
Let's shoot. Hey, Beth. Hey, babe. Hey, Teresa. What's up, Mr. Gray? Freddie Mac. Beth, Fly by Fly. Mr. Gray. Carol Tessie. My good and dear friend. Nancy Francino in the building. I got Beth sending me news 24/7. Nancy staying on this news 24/7. My gang is so crazy with the news. Did you know that? These dudes be up and these girls be up at like, I don't even call them dudes and girls, but I mean, they be up like 4 a.m. I got them in there. They're doing their Thug Thizzle. They're representing my gang.
Goes off all times of nights, okay?
You guys, man, you got to understand that Mr. Brando, you see I'm an ugly dude, right? I need all the beauty sleeps I could get. I need all them beauty sleeps.
He sleep through it, I hear. He be calling the hog.
Oh my gosh, man. Gang. What?
Okay, let's see.
Can you believe what's going down, man?
Hey everybody.
What's up?
Let me get April BB in full effect.
Oh my gosh, man. Waste man time.
He's such a waste man.
Waste man. Okay.
And you guys, before we even do the intros, we're going to have a special video tonight at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we're live for an hour. You got us for an hour. Then you're going to get a double dose. 9 p.m. We got something special for you. If you look out there on Mr. Brando's channel, you'll see it already there. And then he's going to go live after that video for about 10 or 15 minutes. So
Mom says I got to go home when the lights come on.
Don't listen to him.
Mom saying
Wednesday we won't be available. We'll be honoring my father at the funeral services. So tonight we're getting double doses of Mr. Brando. Wednesday we won't be available, and Friday is back to work as usual, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Salute to my gang.
Oh, Daisy. I didn't know you were there.
Well, baby, you gotta let us know where you are.
You everywhere.
Daisy decided that she's our third anchor, and since she won't sit in a chair, she likes to sit at our feet and we kick her. So that was Daisy. She's okay.
I'm sorry, Mama.
You can't. Oh, hey, you can't give the news.
I know.
You can't give news.
She has separation anxiety right now, y'all.
Oh, you can't give news. You gotta let us do the news, okay? We love you. News time. Go away. Okay. You can sit by my feet.
Yes,
okay.
By Daddy's feet. Okay.
Okay, y'all.
I am April BB.
Woo! And I am the humble Mr. Brando. And guess what, y'all? It's that time. We are early. We are exactly 2 hours early on a Monday. Reason being, we've got stuff to do, but it was just so much going on out there in the world that we thought, what the heck? We'll go ahead and go a little bit earlier. That keeps everybody in bed a little bit faster, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so you said 9 p.m. Eastern?
Central Standard Time. So the second video will be on CST. We're on CST here.
Okay, CST. So it's going to go an hour now, and that's going to take us to 8 CST. That gives them a break, and then they come back at our normal time, 9, and then we'll do like a little follow-up Q&A to that afterwards.
Right.
Because the video is real short.
Yeah. It's
epic, too, y'all. The production, the cinematography.
What up, Seamus? What up, Ant Dog?
Seamus. Gang. Let's dive into this news, y'all. I don't know what y'all are thinking.
Thank you, Sammy.
Let's get in this news. And thank you. Thank you for all your well wishes and condolences. The position of the export highlighted a conflict in Washington over the dollar, with a number of officials supporting a cut in the exchange rate to support exports, while others oppose it and consider the strong dollar proof of strength of the economy. According to the website, Senator Elizabeth Warren supports the idea of devaluation, which in her opinion will help create more jobs, accelerate growth of the United States economy, and help to increase exports, which will stimulate domestic production. This is in line with the position of the U.S. President Donald Trump in his first days in the White House, referred to the importance of a dollar devaluation. Now, I'll stop right there. Remember what I tell you guys, especially these kangaroos, my crew, I tell them, you want the dollar, in my opinion, this is just purely my opinion, right? I would like to see the dollar anywhere from about 75 cents to 85 cents. That makes it advantageous for countries for you to sell stuff to. It also makes your currency not so expensive stuff that when you're buying stuff that you're not overpaying for it, creating a bigger deficit than there already needs to be. Okay? So a dollar devaluation is not a dollar crash. I've talked about dollar crashes before. I've given my opinions on such. I don't think that they're referring to a dollar crash. What they're referring to is trade and the expectation of your trade partners. That's why when people start telling me about, well, Iraq, well, they can support a $3 or $4 rate. Well, yeah, they can, because you want business so expensive that to come in there as a foreigner, you can't come in there and buy up stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like oil, stuff like that, natural resources. You want it expensive so a foreigner just can't come in there and take over. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And also because you're a oil exporter, what that means is guess what? You don't deal in your native currency most of the time. You deal in what's called a petrodollar. Mm-hmm. Now, love it or hate it, I don't dislike the idea of ditching the petrodollar because that would devalue the currency. But you got to understand that the petrodollar is what fuels our economy, and it strengthens our currency system against other predators out there. Remember, it's a fine balance between predator and prey. 1 minute, look at China. It only took China like 40 years or 20 years to become like a world superpower because of trade. Mm-hmm. It just shows you how epically strong you can come when you have carte blanche over technology, currency, and a will to succeed like they do as far as manufacturing. That's what people got to really understand in this. It's different in Iraq. Even though they're building it, they're getting everything rocking and rolling, they're not worried about exports so much because their major exports oil. And if they're expensive, like let's say a Kuwait or a UAB or a UAE or something like that, then that makes it different. You're trying to keep the predators away. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Cool on that? Okay. We were told by President Bush and his administration that the U.S. was going to war with Iraq because of imminent threat of Saddam's weapons of mass destruction and ties with terrorism. That happened on October 3rd, 2003. Now, it's no shock that there was big news that came out about 2003. It says the table of the budget was completely different since 2003. That was the tie I was trying to give most people between the budget and what happened about the same date, same time frame. That's why I keep telling you guys the financial management law is very, very important. But even more importantly right now is the financial administration law. When that law goes into effect, that solidifies the cabinet pieces, and then they're allowed to, be basically international standardized. Now, understand what that means again. Doesn't mean that they're not internationally standardized right now. By holding proxy positions, they could actually go forward with it. But I keep explaining to folks, it's the symbolism of a strong government that's more important than actually having those people out of office. It's the symbol to the world. We're solidified. We're normal. We're like any other country. We're functioning. We're doing good. And that corruption is slowly but surely leaving. Okay, you guys haven't seen my thumbnail yet for this one, but it is epic for this. The U.S.-Iran plan. Okay, so there are talks out there right now that there's secret talks about, let's just say, the United States and Iran. Okay, and the United States, just to show you how kind of actually nice they're being right now, they're helping Iran develop a oil for food plan. Mm-hmm. So kind of like what the Iraqis they did for Iraq, let them sell oil and get basic necessities. President Trump is not trying to starve them out. He's actually trying to help them out and allow them an opportunity to, you know what I'm saying, sell some goods, feed their people. You know what I mean? He even said he doesn't even want a regime change. He just wants them to change the way that they do business, which is understandable. Quit terrorizing the region. Quit being little thugs and be upstanding communities in the Arab community. Right. Quit being the minority and start being part of the majority, right? And there you see that. So they want them to put a handle on their nuclear weaponry and other stuff and quit being just mischievous in the region. The Finance Committee of Parliament on Thursday, the budget of 2020, I told you guys about that. I think that's just the biggest news I've heard in a long time. On par with no budget that has ever been or seen. 2020 is only a few months away. I hate to say that to everybody. 2020 is only a few months away. Okay?
Yeah, this year's almost over.
It's almost gone.
It goes by too quick.
Okay, now, we told you last time, If you guys don't remember, Dinar Investor and I got on here. We talked a little bit, and we told you guys that we really believe those cabinet, those ministers, those persons were already placed. Okay, so people were like, "Well, Mr. Brando, how do you know if they're placed?" Well, one, you know that I talk to my friend all the time. The Kangaroo Recruit knows him by name because they also talk to him, not talk to him directly, but they talk to him indirectly through me. But what they also do is they do us stuff from Twitter and stuff, right? So this is the part I posted for them. I posted on YouTube. I'm not YouTube. I posted it on Kangaroo Crew. I posted it in Telegram. I posted it in Facebook on the covered page and the secret page and the open page. And I decided not to close the open page. I'm going to keep the open page going. You're just not going to get the news there that you're going to get in the closed group or you're going to get in the other secret groups, is because it's just too much to post, okay? But the parliamentary sources confirmed on Saturday that Prime Minister Abdul Mahdi will send the names of the candidates for the vacant ministries to the House Representatives next week. Now, this was on Sunday, so that's this week here, okay? He says the candidates for education and justice are the same that were circulated in the media. Safana, remember I told you, Safana Hamandi, I showed you pictures of her. She's in a thumbnail. She's actually in a couple of them. And Judge Arkan Babani. That's a new name. I haven't heard that one. But a new judge. But I knew that Safana Hamandi and the other guy, which is new. I'll look him up. I'll get you guys some background, possibly for video number 2 tonight, about Judge Arkan Babani. And internal and defense is not known so far. But remember that the defense ministry sent out materials about directives that were sent from the Ministry of Defense. So we know that the committees are set, all the people are in place, so the offices are run by ghosts. Like, what happens when your director's not there, being a state agency? Basically, the agency still functions. They just can't make any big decisions. Right?
Or they have an acting person.
Correct. So they have a person there either by proxy or by committee member who's running the defense and the interior. I'm not saying that's the person that's going to do it, but I'm saying that the person that's going to do it has just not yet been known, okay? Iraq pays half of its debt in 2 currencies. The reason why this is important is because later on I'm going to show you guys this. Iran currently receives electricity exports due to Iraq in Iraq dinar and euro. So Iraq is paying their bill to, Iraq is paying Iran in dinar and in euro, which is okay. They said they could do that as long as I didn't pay them in USD. So that's all well and good. But if you guys remember, part of the SBA is Iraq can't have any big outstanding debts as far as being international. So then paying off their debts is big news, because by the U.S. kind of telling them they couldn't do business with them, they still owed them money. And the way it kind of works is with these agencies is you don't pay for what you're using right now like most of us do. They pay 30 days away from or earlier this year, or 90 days earlier this year. You usually pay net 30 or net 90 for most of these places. So they're paying off those old debts. That's why they paid half of it up front. It's no secret to say they have to keep their debt ratio down to a certain pro forma as to be compliant with the SBA and the IMF and the World Bank. Okay, so that's important to note. Secretary of State Affairs of Kuwait Sunday to diversify sources of income and not really on one source. Know that the idea can continue to a rentier state in light of the growing population. We want them to leave the rentier state and become basically a donor state. We don't want them to be dependent on anybody. We want them to be helping other countries to grow. The Kuwaiti newspaper said it's necessary to diversify sources of income and not rely on a single source. We must achieve sustainability by diversifying our income resources following the experiences of those who preceded us. We need to diversify our income sources through the allocations, especially as we are not an industrialized country with a single source of income. We are preparing and developing an integrated social security network, which is now working to provide the Kuwaiti family and well-being. So what they're basically saying to you guys is that they're trying to develop their social system to be more like Kuwait, and they're going to do so, and it's going to be very, very popular. So you guys are probably saying, well, where the heck are the sound effects? Where are the explosions, Mr. B? You're not hitting none tonight. Well, I'm about to hit one now. Sorry. Miss BB does that to me. The preparations for the conference to launch the electronic travel cards greeting and the bank strategy gradually directing citizens to use electronic payment tools rather than cash payment draws your attention to the fact they are preparing to conference to launch it for me. Is the process of preparing the e-ticketing conference, which will help travelers in the payment of external expenses and contribute to the increasing inability of banks to attract customers towards modern banking services. So what they're basically saying is, in regards, the bank will be coordinating with the Association of Iraqi banks, licensed payment companies, international credit card companies, to establish a conference in the first week of July. Now, we know that travel. The banks will sell the cards to the banks abroad by selling them, not issuing them, selling them basically at $1.19 for the selling window at the currency auction, at the currency window against the sale of citizens. The dollar is priced at 1,200 JD through card purchases. So it's not a rate. Do you feel me on that, guys? A lot of people are saying, well, Mr. Brando, that is a rate. They're telling you that they're going to sell those cards for $1.19. No, they're not. They're selling them the cards themselves. If any of you guys are involved in the Rev card, the Rev card is basically going to cost about $100. To be a part of that card, you have to pay a fee to get it, okay? That's all they're saying right here. So I'm going to give myself another one of these. It's not a rate, y'all, so don't fuss at me. But what it does tell you is that the activation of the card does a couple things. Number one, they had to have open airways and airspace as opposed to the SBA and the other agreement. So they're telling you that Baghdad Airport, Basra Airport, Najib Airport, Erbil Airport, Samaya Airport, tourism offices, they are open for business. What does that tell you? When people can come in and out of your country like that and have flights not just in-state and out-of-state, but in-country, out-of-country, and regionally, that tells you, guess what? People more than just being from Iraq or traveling in Iraq. Just because you're an Iraqi doesn't mean you're hampered with just staying in Iraq because your currency is not recognized internationally. Now, that will make sense to a lot of you guys in a little while, okay? I'm not going to give a spoiler alert, but that statement right there will ring bells in a little bit, okay? So we know the first week of July, they're going to start the season of tourism, travel, and holidays. Time, please start preparing the products because of the positive impact, increasing profitability of banks, attracting them to the bank, and the bank will cooperate with international card companies. International card companies, not the currency being international, okay? And you're going to say, Mr. Brando, but why is that important? Because do you think people like MasterCard, Visa are going to allow a country that's basically doesn't have a reinstated currency to continue to be undervalued and uninstated? I mean, I'm sure they do in Vietnam and other places, but the conversion on that card must be very difficult, must be time-consuming for accounting. But we all know that those guys want to be pre-war times, so that's going to change quickly. The thing with it is that the banks are going to be issuing those cards in MasterCard or Visa because they're widely accepted everywhere, okay? CBI posted that picture earlier. I think it's very, very important to note that today Barzani took the office of president in Kirkuk, and I thought this was super interesting. The head of the Kurdistan region, Natravan Barzani, made the first change after his legal oath on Monday. Barzani took the legal oath in Erbil today during special ceremonies as the first work to change the slogan of presidency of the region, where the English language was added to the Kurdistan and Arabic language today. English was added. Why would Barzani add English? Or can anybody tell me, hey, why would Barzani do that? And I'm not giving him any credit. I'm not taking away any credit. But if you guys remember, President Trump has a very special relationship with the Kurds. And they like him. He likes them. Good or bad, they actually are making headway. And that's why I tell you guys, there is major happenings in Iraq. With them adding English, oh my gosh. That is massive. Huge, okay? I told you guys about oil for food. I told you guys, now the popular crowd, now this was another one that people were coming out and telling me, Mr. Brando, they're telling them they got to get paid in dollars. They told these guys, hey, man, look, if these guys try to pay you in anything other than basically dinar, don't accept it. They want to know who they are, where it came from. The directorate confirmed the members of the popular crowd authority are free to receive from any port they deem appropriate, and otherwise the directorate is informed of within documentation, calling to inform the Directorate of Finance about abnormal situation related of drainage and exchange outlets where they will take necessary measures. So if you get paid anything other than dinar right now, and that came straight out of Baghdad, they want to know about it because they're going to put a stop to it. That's awesome. I want to hear them only use the dinar in any occasion for any reason, supply and demand times the velocity, and that's going to get us to the home field. Now, I told you guys they paid their debt, theft and loss of payments in all currency all over the world, access to additional privileges offered by banks, access to Hall of Business discounts, and the bank will settle cards banks abroad by selling them at dollars in the sale window against the citizen's dollar price at 1,200 to 1. Now you're probably saying, well, why is that important, Mr. Brando? I'm saying it again. They're not selling those travel cards. I just surmised it for myself at a dollar amount. They're selling those at basically $1.20 a card. So when you use them abroad, they're going to be valued at basically 1,200 dinar.
So they were talking about the $1.90 rate. I asked him to give me the link to support that. This is what he said. Just so you know.
It's not true.
Okay.
I've got the translation right here. I just read it. There is no, listen, y'all, I'm not saying Vital Brad is wrong, because I like Vital Brad. He's actually a very nice guy. But I'm telling you, you buy the card for $1.91. The card is, the money's still issued to you to 1,200 per JD, which is a Jordanian dinar or Iraqi dinar, just an abbreviated step. It's probably a translation error. But the actual conversion rate on them is 1,200 to 1.
Jose said, I heard it through the grapevine on the CBI website, the $1.90 rate.
Okay, y'all, here, let me show you what you guys are hearing and seeing. This is what you guys are hearing and seeing. There's no grapevine here, y'all. The CBI website is no secret. Like, this isn't tough. Here's the document here. I got it. This ain't hard. Look. Okay? Now, let me show you guys this. Not that I want to give away every person that I talk to on the internet on here.
Well, what are you trying to do?
I was going to say, here is the translation for it. Oops. Hey, sorry, can you hold that, please? Let me get rid of this.
Or can you copy it in a notepad?
Yeah, I can send. I'll just do this one for you guys. You don't have to worry about a little birdie sent it to you. I'll do you guys a solid. I'll send it to you right now.
You can send it to me and then I'll post it.
Yeah, you can post it. Yeah, it's no secret. It's not like this is something super secretive. And I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade either. I'm just trying to tell you guys that, please, there's stuff to be excited about, but just these things like this, they're just telling you guys about this travel thing, because them traveling abroad and having access to international companies, why do you think that they're allowing them to do that? Because that's the secret to it all. They're going to have access to the international world. They're going to have every freedom and every basis like you and I do. Okay? Here, do you want the translated part?
Translated to English?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to forward you this. Here's the translated part to Miss BB so she can post it. And let me transfer it. I'm just sending her the link.
Oh, I saw this earlier today.
What? That statement?
Yeah, because I think I showed it to you, and I said, "Is this?"
You said, "Is this?" They're getting these at $1.19 to 1. Remember? And I said, "Let me read it."
So I got the first part.
I just sent you the picture of the link right after it.
Okay, gotcha. I'll send it out there for the public to see.
Okay. No little birdie. So, you guys, if you're going to tell me, hey, a little birdie, don't do that. Like, I don't do that to you guys. I'm going to be straight up with you.
Well, no, I mean, people are giving, that person say grapevine.
And I'm not going to say who that person is. I'm not going to call them out, because that person's a very, they send me stuff all the time.
So, I mean, people are dropping Vital Brad's name, okay? So, I mean, they're out there. People, I just pointed to that one. But earlier in the conversation, because one of your subscribers said, hey, I heard about this $1.90. I said, give me the supporting link. And he said, well, I got it from Vital Brad's channel. So, and he translated the CBI information. So, people are transparent. It's just that one person you saw.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to get on anybody else, but I just sent you the translation. There's no hiding it. There's no fluff in that. I'm going to send you the link. You can translate it yourselves, but there's no rate in that. It's 1,200 dinars to 1. The new U.S. ambassador to Baghdad and its relationship, this guy has ties to the CIA. Now, the new foreign minister to our U.S. ambassador to Baghdad signed in today or yesterday, I believe. And the two sides discussed ways to enhance bilateral relations between the two countries and the importance of enhancing cooperation opportunities at various levels to meet aspirations of the two people. The foreign ministry is ready to provide all the conditions that enable it to perform its tasks to the fullest, wishing him success and the successes in his work. Now, this guy has worked in Yemen for the last 5 years. I don't believe Yemen is one of the safest places in the whole world, but he was also one of the key components that helped ease tensions years ago when Iran and the United States had problems before. So he's used to dealing with Iran. He's used to dealing with the nice people of Yemen. And he's very used to dealing in the Middle East and its affairs and how it works. But some things that I found very interesting about him was his credentials, who he had worked with in the past. It seems that he worked in Kuwait, Cairo, Baghdad, Kuwait, and Ridwa. So he's worked in at least 3 places with good economies. And he's also worked in places that have, A, instated their currency, and B, in flourishing economies. Okay, so I think that's very, very important. Okay, this is another bomb that I found today. I told you guys that Interpol was going to get involved in Iraq, and that Iraq was going to start, they're going to start issuing arrests for these major corruption files. And this is what Pimpe said, and this is what I say, and I keep saying this, that our Interpol director, Sadiq Fahid Raham, revealed on Monday, on June 10th, 2019, that 653 international red flags were issued. A red flag is basically where they're going to pick you up. 653. I'm going to bet my bottom dollar, even though I'm going to tell you this news about Maliki in a few minutes, that one of those people is probably high up as Maliki. The former secretary of Baghdad is on that list, and he was just released from Syrian authorities. And Syrian Interpol is one who felt the arrest of the former secretary, Iraqi engineer Nahi Aboud, and there is a recovery file against him with the competent Iraqi authorities. Najibun Karim, the former governor of Kirkuk, is also on that list, and he has various charges and has not been released, as the Lebanese law allows those wanted to leave with bail and the seizure of passports and special documents. So if he did bail out, guess what? He caught wind and he's out of there. Now, 653 arrest warrants. Interpol. You're not talking about the corruption file, people. You're not talking about this or that. Interpol. I guarantee you that there's some major high-level authorities on that list. Major. Okay? I'm going to save that bomb for a second. That's for later. Now, it's 6:25. I've dropped a few bombs. I've also saved a few for later. I think that a lot of folks didn't really realize that thing about okay, here's one that I thought was interesting. Mosul residents rule out the arrest of Nur al-Maliki, calls the fall of the city. This was today. Mosul residents rule out the arrest of Maliki and the cause of the fall of the city, political sources said, and the judiciary cannot move towards the arrest of Nur al-Maliki, even if it issued an order for the implementation of one. Now, this is where I totally think this is a translation error. This is where times that I wish I had the original documentation. They said he ruled out the source to see the people of Mosul, Nur al-Maliki specifically, or any of those individuals in the fall of their city and the slaughter of their children in the courts. He ruled out the source to see the people of Mosul, Nur al-Maliki specifically, or any of those involved in the fall of their city and the slaughter of their children in the courts. I don't think that's correct. I just don't. I don't think that's correct, okay? The other thing that I wanted to tell you guys about was there's cash deposits happening. Bless you.
Thank
you. Bless you again. Sorry about this. I lost this one. Oh, yeah. Sauder wants to see, or supposedly Sauder wanted to see, or Maliki first said that he wanted to see the resignation of Nur al-Mahdi. Okay. Now, today, Mahdi is receiving delegates as far as people from New Zealand and other countries. And then Sauder comes, or a person of Sauder's camp comes out and says they want to see the resignation. Now, like I've said one time, and I've said it before, they have that opportunity for a vote of no confidence coming up, but I think it's all smoke and mirrors. The cabinet's done. Everything's in place. All they've got to do is implement and move forward, but they're not, because remember the importance of all this. If they screw it up, you see what I'm saying? Then it's screwed up forever. You can't go back and fix it, basically. So even though we want it and they want it, we just want to make sure we do it correctly, okay? Now, it is 7:28. That is the news, huh?
Golden Bear says the standby agreement ends July 19th. Doesn't it expire every year and they sign a new one if they need to?
The SBA is like for 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
You want me to tell you exactly how long was the SBA for in Iraq?
7.
The standby agreement.
Oh no, that icon that came up on your screen. That's it.
Okay.
Interesting. Ed Mike TV says, all of you guys are tweaks. Very unrealistic. Dong will go for $1 to $2. He's just arguing with the ground, not the dinar. And then he laughs. Just interesting comment.
I'm trying to find it right here, y'all. Or bordering on sovereign debt crisis 2010, 2011. It goes for I think 4 years. I can look on their website. Okay, here it is right here. On December 5th, 2016, the Board of Governors adopted a resolution calling on the Executive Board to work expeditiously on the 15th review in line with existing Executive Board understanding and the guidance provided by the IMFC with the aim to complete the 15th review of the spring meeting of 2019 no later than the annual meetings of the fall of 2019. So yeah, they're trying to hurry up and get it done. It needs to be done by July. And if they sign off on it, which I pretty much think they will, then they'll be good to go. It's not like Executive Order 13303, in other words. Okay.
We've had flood insurance.
Sorry about that. Okay. Just got put a bit 20 minutes ago, and I just read it. They asked us cook. Yeah, they're done, y'all. I mean, it's not that I could stop reading the news to you guys, so you guys would have an understanding of it. I think it would still be very muddy for people, but I think that you got to understand that my job is to do right now is just to help make that muddy water clear. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I want it to be very opaque. I want you to look out in the pool and see, oh, it's clear in here. I don't want you to look through here and get bamboozled or shamshoozled by some of these guys out here that misinterpret the words that they're reading or don't understand that what they're reading is what they're really reading. Those are called dinar goggles. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I can read all of this and make it favorable. I can read all of it and make it negative. It just depends on how you choose to do it. You know what I mean? I try to be objectifying, and I try to find at least one or more sites to kind of formulate my opinion before I give it. That's why, like, when I read stuff that I read today, I was kind of like, what the heck are they getting this at? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
International investigation as well. Yeah, the UN is setting up, Interpol setting up. They're about to go nuts there. Zimbabwe is going to be a good investment after they get a regime change. Aldeman X88, nice. I'm set for life. Good. Howdy. Hi, Dwayne. Hey, Dwayne. Hey, Brightside. Hey, Mark. And you guys, I think I don't want to make this a misunderstanding that, well, Mr. Brando's down on the investment today. He's not giving us the super bombs. You see what I'm saying?
And Dog said, Mr. Brando, Dinar Investor just posted the video 20 minutes ago, and I just read it. They ass is cooked.
Oh, they're cooked. Stick a fork in their butts. They're done. And they are done. That's the thing. They got the travel cards. They got the travel conference coming out this month. That makes it so they can have these international ways of paying for things. Remember this, y'all. A credit card is not currency. You see what I'm saying? I'll explain all that later, but credit card's not currency. Now, we'd all retire if Don was that.
Oh, you reading the comments?
Yeah. And you guys, a lot of you guys that don't have a certain currency, you have time. By inch, it's a cinch.
Go into, if you're buying dong, try your local bank. Call them first.
And I don't listen, y'all. I think the digital currency market and I think the fiat currency markets kind of run hand in hand. They're the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's really, you know what I mean, that big a deal. Hello? Hey, Jason.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press...
Hey, Jason.
Hey, D.
Hey, man, what's happening?
Bro.
Hi, Jason. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for clearing up the card, because it's going crazy with VitalBet putting that out, and it's true. Like what we were researching earlier this morning, we looked at that $1.90 thing, and then the 11.20. It's like, no, that doesn't add up. What VitalBet's saying?
It doesn't.
You need to really read the whole thing.
And you know what? I'll give you guys an example. Miss BB read a headline to like one of my artists that we both kind of know about. I'm not saying we enjoy their music, but we both kind of know about it, right? She goes, "Oh my God, so-and-so was shot." And I said, "What?" She goes, "Read it right here." And it said so-and-so's brother was shot. Do you see the mistranslation there? It's not that he's wrong. He's right. The cards are going for $1.19 a piece. He's absolutely right. But the currency's at 1,200 to 1. That's the second part of that line.
Yes.
You just got to read that.
I made sure to read that. Yep, I made sure to read that like 5 times. Because if you calculated that $1.90 and the 11.20 doesn't add up.
Yeah, because listen, everybody wants to see $1.20 based upon a whole. You know what I mean? What do you call it? A whole myth that the not a myth. The whole thing about the exchange rate being $1.19, and if they exchange, they move the 3 zeros, it'd be $1.20. That's what people want to see. That's called dinar goggles. Take off your dinar goggles, read. And don't read it just to read it. Don't skim it. Read it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Read it.
Exactly.
Okay? Jason, what was I going to tell you? You brought up something earlier today. Oh, I forgot it. Anyway, but what else did you got for me, big bro? Tell me something good.
Well, looking at the stuff, we're really watching Vietnam. I don't know if you saw the post that we actually put out. They are actually moving into there's a new smartphone company they're setting shop up with in Vietnam. And Google signed up on that.
Well, I've got a bomb to drop. I don't know if everybody kind of remembers. I looked it up. Did you know that Iraq's application to the WTO had been expedited? It was supposed to be, I think, done by like the end of the year. Right?
Yeah.
Am I right quoting that? I mean, I might be wrong, but it was expedited.
No,
usually.
No. You are correct. And even in regards to that, Christine Lagarde is trying to speed things up over the G20 in regards to Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs to check that out because she is moving fast as well.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are missing that as far as what's going on. And that's why, guys, when you talk about, and I love Vietnam, trust me, I'm bullish on Vietnam. I am bullish. I don't talk about it on here. I don't do that on here. I get enough scrutiny because of the dinar. I get enough snide comments because of the dinar. I'm not going with it on the dong. You want to talk dong? Talk to me on Patreon. You want to talk? I can't even say it. Kangaroo currency. Then you got our digital currency. You got to talk to me on Patreon. I'm not doing it here. I'm just not. I'm tired of it.
Right.
And it's not that these guys flake out or they don't want to do it anymore. It's just the scrutiny gets so tough. You know what I mean? You're held to a higher standard, and you have to make sure that you're putting out factual content. That's the thing. Factual content. Not just content I make up or I want it to be right. I could have ran with that $1.91 and made everybody believe that there was a rate there, and I would have went down, and no one would have probably cared. But you know what? There would have been somebody out there that really read it and would have said, "Mr. Brando's a dumbass. He didn't even read this." You know what I'm saying? I'm held to that standard. That's why I read this stuff for you guys, so you don't have to. You know what I mean?
Right. And you actually drop bombs. Not only did we notice that $1.90 thing on the 11.20, like what you just announced today, they need to read why are they putting that out in July.
Right.
Exactly what you said. They're preparing for everything. Everybody needs to understand it. Don't just look at the numbers, read the entire thing, and understand why they're actually putting that out.
Okay.
Because specifically, they're putting it out in July.
Can I say this to Miss BB and you, Jason?
Yes, sir.
What about? Yeah.
Want to say that?
You can talk about it. It's not there yet, though.
Okay. I got a video that's coming out tomorrow on Patreon, and I'm not trying to pump up Patreon. And the reason why it has to be on Patreon, because my friend who works for DOD, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He allowed me to talk to him, right? And so I had to he was like, hey, we got to keep this cool. You know, he's part of the Kangaroo crew. He's like, I don't want my name and face and everything all over the place. And I have to respect that. He's over in UAE. He works for DOD. It's all legit. We checked him out. And that video you'll see tomorrow on Patreon. So if you like that type stuff, you want to talk to someone that's actually involved.
It's an interview. It's an audio.
It's an audio. So it's not, and it's real short. It's like 20 minutes. Okay. I don't bore you guys there with that. So that we're also doing the follow-up video tonight. And I better see all of you guys again tonight for the follow-up to this because it's going to be epic. Okay.
Oh, so someone wants to know, does it matter which type of dinar notes you hold?
Nope.
Can it be like a 1K, a 25K?
Yes. Let's get this out of the way right now. A dinar is a dinar as long as that currency is in circulation and is exchangeable. Meaning it's not a damaged note. The bank will accept it. There's no such thing as only take $25,000 dinar notes. That's kind of like going to a store and saying, we won't take anything unless it's a 50. You only got 50s. We won't give change. No. Just take 50s. It doesn't work that way.
You're correct.
So no, they don't do that.
It's still legal.
Right. And redeemable. If you read most currency, it says redeemable upon sender or something like that. It's redeemable upon something. Look at a dollar or something like that. But what they're trying to say to you is when I give you the money, it's like me giving you something valuable. You're going to give me something in return. It doesn't say redeem all the currency except for these. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Dinar goggles. Don't let these guys tell you stuff like that. Did they sign the Constitution on Saturday? Lex, no, they signed the Constitution many days ago. And I know what you're getting at. Did they pass the laws? No, they didn't. That's not in the news yet. I kind of look for that type of news. I was looking for it Saturday. I was looking for it Saturday. But it didn't come out Saturday. So what does that lead me to be? It's probably going to be Tuesday or Wednesday. Now, if I just get some news that's just so lit on Wednesday, I'll probably do something on Thursday. You know what I'm saying? And Friday. But it's got to be lit. You know what I'm saying? We have to let Miss BB and myself heal. So we're going to let her and I go through that. But, I mean, if there's something right about it, I'll release it. But you guys, I just want you to know that I'm not going to give you guys bad info, okay? I'm just not. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I won't lie to you without, maybe I misunderstood it, but I won't lie.
When I was actually reading up on the Constitution, and, you know, like I said, I mean, I'm glad to do this for everybody and you. You know, I read everything from A to Z, and it took me almost half an hour to read the entire thing because of all the subsections in there. All
139, how many articles were there?
There's 139.
Not 140. That's the interesting about Article 140. It's a subsection of another article. It's not an article in the Constitution. That's what people don't know. I should drop a bomb for that one. It's a subsection of an article.
Well, and here's the kicker about the whole thing, and it's unfolding right before what we're seeing. Is that they're dissecting everything that's in the Constitution, and, you know, laws are being amended within every article. So all the laws they're putting out, it's based on the Constitution, and they're beautifully implementing everything and getting it ready for the RI.
No, here's the cool thing about that. I don't mean to interrupt you, Jason, but tell them this, or explain this. Remember when they come out with like the UN and the IMF and the World Bank, and they come out and say you're doing this wrong, that wrong, this wrong, that wrong. It's all based upon constitutional content. Their Constitution says this, you're doing that. And that's why I tell you guys, don't worry about what they say. Worry about what they do and pass into law.
Exactly.
Because that passing into law is actually the action.
Correct.
Action scream, words whisper.
Everything all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you're seeing in Parliament, they're basing it upon the Constitution, and they're doing it legally. So. And you were spot on about Interpol and the UN. When I wrote about, I texted you about the UN. They are cracking down now.
Yeah, I told everybody. I thought it was actually going to be the DOD that did it, and that was one reason why I was so glad to have met my friend there, because he was over there, and I thought that he was going to come over and call me and tell me this morning that they had actually sent like snipers or a mission or something over there. And what he told me was even crazier, but not crazy in a bad way, but just like, I was like, huh? He's like, yeah. And I was like, huh? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. He goes, don't say my name. I said, I won't say it, but that's weird. So like, it was all odd, but I thought he was actually calling. So that was our thing, was he was going to tell me when they thought they were going to launch the mission in Iraq to get rid of the corrupt. kind of like mass arrest. You see what I'm saying? So I was very interested to see that, but he didn't. He came back with something else. But when I saw the Interpol come out, I thought that was even better because Interpol kind of is one of those groups. They're like the CIA. They're like a dog on a bone too. Once they go after people, those files of corruption, those were nothing. Those were like the handwriting on the wall. We knew that some big government agency was going to come after them and arrest the wicked. No, Chris, it doesn't matter what note you have. If it's a dinar and it's legal, it's a dinar. It will exchange.
Look, crypto mogul.
In circulation, it's all good to go.
Hold on. Ed and Mike TV, you tell me. I don't know. I don't do dates and I don't do rates.
Iraq Central Bank on Sunday called all banks to transfer cash to them through what is this modern means of transport. The bank said in a statement received by, how do I say this? Ashrama News.
Right. Yeah. Okay. But you got to understand, crypto mogul. You know how you transfer money to a bank typically? Either through wire transfer or by truck. That's it. It doesn't mean that they're going to transfer it to some type of new form of transportation. I get that. No, no, I saw that article. I skipped it because you need to be accountable for the money supply. That's what they're telling them. Look, go back. The central bank called on all banks to transfer cash to them through modern means, meaning that their uncle can't do it no more, or so-and-so's a runner can't take it to the bank. They want the bank to be unified and solidified and be on protocol with how they handle their cash. Why would they do that for a cash that's worthless is the question, a better question than how they're handling the cash. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Why would you care if the currency's worthless, how it got handled?
They're basically, like you said, because of the fact of the old days of just, the citizens not trusting anybody. They're making the system unified so that everything is accountable, not only for that. And here's the other one, sir, is that we also look at the new tax that's coming out because of the fact that they have to make sure that everything's regulated and on par. And it's dated for 2019, 2020. That is getting ready to launch. So they're also implementing that. So,
right.
Making sure that everybody's taxed correctly, and that's why the banks need to be accountable. You can't just black market money anymore. Like you said, every penny needs to be accounted for.
And here, I'm going to answer another question real quick about the auctions. This is my own personal belief. I have no proof of this. Are you going to see the auctions stop and then the actual Iraqi dinar reinstate? I'm going to tell you right now the answer to that, to me, in my mind, is unequivocally no. No, you're not. Because that would send every speculator to every Forex market in the universe to run on your currency. Why would you go through all this hidden secrecy? Why would you go through all this and do something so blatantly open and kind of dumb on their part? There's no way it would happen. What's going to happen is they're going to reinstate their currency. You're not going to hear about an auction or it'll cut. And then guess what? The auctions could actually run for a day or two while their currency is reinstated. You could still sell and buy on currency. There's a lot of countries that are involved in currency auction. That's not an illegal thing. Okay? So in my opinion, you'll see the auctions stop after the currency is reinstated, not before. But do the auctions need to stop? Yes. But do you know what the auctions need to be done more so than stop? Regulated. Actually go through and make sure the people you're selling the currency to isn't a crook. That would be much easier than stopping them.
They're actually getting ready to I'm glad you brought that up, because they're actually getting ready to bring in policy for that. Because what they've been doing is, basically they've been black marketing that and actually taking huge cuts and recirculating it back into the dinar currency to actually get even more dinar.
But guess who was doing that?
Those were on their way with that.
And Jason, remember, one of the things Mahdi did in the beginning was he changed the way the currency auctions handled at the window. So basically what happened was my brother couldn't have a fake certificate of a fake company that he has come in and buys a bunch of currency under an assumed name or assumed business, and it'd be a ghost company, and then we go funnel that country out of the country or we steal it. The government officials that were there, the very first reason why they let them basically run, in my opinion, was because they were stealing from the auctions. They knew that. But here's the problem with the auctions. The auctions prop up their whole economy. Now, it's not their whole economy. It makes up for the difference that they don't have in the private sector, but they do have it in the private sector. It's kind of like sticking your pinky in a pool, right? Iraq is so scared that when they stick their pinky in, they're going to be in the deep end because they're going to have to be transparent. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then in a way they're fighting it because they're saying, look, if we stay shrouded in quiet and in secrecy and they kept stealing and kept doing this, they kept doing that, then you know what? Then no one would know. But you know what that's called? That's called a law. That's the problem with Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe ain't going to reinstate. Zimbabwe ain't going to reinstate to the currency you think of.
So my Zimbabwe notes are trash?
Worthless. They've been worthless.
So
that's why I told you you can have all mine. You can throw them away. Give them to Daisy. Use them as pee pads. They're worthless.
Monopoly money?
They're worthless. They're not even good Monopoly money. I mean, they're pretty, but the note is undersecured. It's way overvalued. And here's the other problem. They have no political infrastructure. They've got no infrastructure as far as manufacturing goes. Even like the way that they were getting like natural minerals and all these different things out there weren't really possible until they met China.
So even though it's a bonded note, it means nothing.
Let me tell you like this. I got told that same lie about bonded notes.
Remember where
God, that's such a crock of crap. Bonded notes mean actually bonded crap. Because I'm sitting on a bunch of bonded notes I can't exchange or redeem. They were declassified. I hate to say it, I got took on that deal.
Me too.
I got took.
Me too. I could have bought more Dom.
Oh, I would have bought tons more Dom. I bought Zim before I ever thought about buying Dom.
And
I believe in Zimbabwe wholeheartedly because of that bond lie. That's a complete lie. And these are the same lies that these guys tell you about that are all of a sudden about, well, I talked to this person or I talked to that person. You guys don't know. Today I was sitting there when I was talking to my friend, I said, you know what? Instead of me saying, he said, she said, I say, they say, I'm going to make some type of documentation about when I speak to someone from now on. And if they're not willing to go on the air or expose what they're saying to me as not being my words, but to being theirs, I don't want to hear it. Because there's too much trash in the dinar community. And there's too many really sweet people that need this to happen worse than anything that are counting on us every day. And if I give them crap, they're going to get crap. But if I give them factual stuff, you know what's going to happen? They're going to be smarter. They're going to be educated. And then when there's the next part to go on, then all these people will be tuned in right here on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays to make their next billion, trillion, gazillion dollars. Not saying you will, just saying it could happen.
So Crew asked, Crew 49428 asked, can you buy dog at Chase Bank? Yes, you can. And that's where I got mine.
I just did. Matter of fact, me and Miss Bibi just did a whole video about buying Iraqi dinar at an exchange center.
Well, that's what I wanted to share with you. But Joe Williams just went out to Memorial City Mall.
Based on that video, right?
He bought 300 IQD, and he said now he's chilling, watching us as he's sipping on his vodka.
And I asked him about De La Rue machines. I asked him about if I had $1 million and I wanted cash, could I get it? Gotta watch the video.
Okay.
Gotta watch the video.
Like you said, as far as any type of dinar currency, as long as it's in circulation, it's good to go.
Yep.
So any which way you look at it, you're going to come out a winner when you buy, circulated dinar.
Emilio, $1 equals basically 24,000. Or excuse me, $1 equals 24,000 dong right now.
I'm saying that again.
$1 equals 24,000 dong. I might be saying it wrong, but it's
okay.
Dong. So
okay.
Don't ask what's the dong exchange right now.
Okay. Get your dong up.
Get your chicks dig the long dong. I'll tell you that now.
Hush. Get your dong up.
Chicks don't like a limp dong.
JF asked, what about China, Mr. Brando? Trade deal, Jason and Mr. Brando. Is it going to happen this year?
Heck yes! Yes! Oh my God, yes. This year, not this month, not this week. 2020. Watch. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Listen to this, y'all.
Don't give up.
And I have to give credit to my boy Uncle Luke on this. Me and Uncle Luke fight like kitty cats and puppies, but I love my Uncle Luke, okay? Pimpe. Now, me and Uncle Luke, I agree with Uncle Luke on several things, but I agree with this statement that he made one time. The longer that the United States and that China fight about trade, the more favorable it looks for every currency that we want to see revalue must revalue because of this trade. That's why their currency can't, in my opinion, I don't think the yuan's going to come out at 15 cents. I think it's going to come back at like 40.
40 cents?
Hell yeah.
Why would it become yuan when we was at
It's too expensive to buy.
It was like 13 cents.
Well, right now it's like almost for every dollar you get 7. So it's not that bad, but it's not the windfall that you think.
No, it's not. You're right. Go ahead, Jason.
Here's another good indicator that China is desperately grasping for whatever they can.
Mm-hmm.
And this message was actually put out, and we put it out on the cruise there. Is that they're trying to manipulate labels and ship it out to Vietnam as Vietnam products.
I saw that.
That's how desperate they are.
Yeah, and here.
Get their.
Oh no! Keep going, bro. Keep going. I'm sorry. Keep going.
So that's they're trying every which way to get everything in there without actually paying up. And Vietnam caught on to that. And Vietnam, because of the fact that they're cooperating, like we said in many other calls, they're cooperating with the United States. They refuse to let China get away with that.
Right. Now think about this. If all of a sudden for goods and services I was paying 24,000 dong for, what if I had to pay you fair market value for it, like 50 cents on the dollar? What do you think that does to China? The United States ain't giving them billions and billions of hundred billions of hundred billions. And then now your farmed out company won't do the work for pennies on your already undervalued dollar. That squeezes you from both directions. Okay. And now what? Now you say, well, what's the incentive for Vietnam to trade? Well, the incentive is this. If you have a basically undervalued market and it's closed because of China, what if I could open you up to the trade of the world? Now they're already in the WTO. That's not the deal I'm talking about. I'm talking about major strategic trade principles based upon the United States and Vietnam buying and selling goods back and forth, trading where the deficit's more even because their currencies are more on par with each other. Okay? I'm not saying it's going to be $1.50. I'm just saying more on par.
That's why I brought up that single great article that I actually looked up today about the company that's making smartphones in Vietnam exclusively. They're not doing this for China. Vietnam is doing this on their own. And companies from the United States, like big companies like Google, signed on to that. That's a huge indicator of the United States, just directly dealing with Vietnam.
Okay.
That's what everyone needs to look at.
And let me dangle another carrot in everybody's face. I don't know why I'm talking about dong so much, but I'm going to quit here. This is my last free dong advice, okay? Not free. I'm just saying that on this platform. Why is Samsung Vietnam's major exporter?
And it would make sense because Samsung and Google have a deal. You see what I'm saying? So anytime you pick up a Samsung phone, you got to sync it to Google.
Ain't no Apple there. Ain't no freaking USNBC. Ain't no telecom. Ain't no major. You know what they're good at? They're good at manufacturing small electronic parts and furniture. That's what Vietnam's good at.
And those cheap Walmart clothes.
Well, you guys like my shirt?
That didn't come from
Well,
Walmart.
here's another golden carrot, and this will be my last one. The amount of phones that they're actually going to be pushing out in this new company that's as of today running, they're going to be putting out by December over 124 million new smartphones for that company.
Now,
guess where they're going?
Vietnam?
Vietnam is making that, sir.
Now, let me explain this to everybody so they'll understand it. So Vietnam's currency is closer to $1. Not saying it's $1, but closer to $1. So when you buy and sell goods, people like your money because it's fair, right? It's not too high, it's not too low. So when you all of a sudden you start to trade with somebody whose currency is on par with yours, your trade deficit doesn't go crazy. That's why the dong can't ever, in my opinion, I would love to see a $2 dong. Love it. It ain't gonna happen. There's no way. I'll pay 50%. I mean, I'll pay, 1,000 times more because they're going to put on par. But they're going to pay for 40,000 more. They're just not. Not percent. It's all based upon what's called your gross margin on your investment. I put $1 in, I want to get $3 out. I don't want to put $3 in and get a half a dollar out. That makes no sense.
So Taj Romer wants to know, can you still buy more dinar and where? Yes, you can still buy dinar. We've used Exchange America online in the past.
Then I get zero from. Exchange America means nothing. I have no affiliation to anything.
And then we here locally in the mall, there's a currency exchange in the mall, and we buy from there. Okay.
And here's the other thing, y'all. It depends on parts of the world where you can get availability of currencies. Okay. You would think that the further away you go from that country of origin, that the difficulty of getting the currency would get increased. We walked up there the other day and we just wanted to buy, I think, what, 400,000?
What do you mean? Of what?
Dinar?
Dinar, no. almost 300.
Okay, 300,000, whatever it was. And walked up there, did our thing, left. Now, you'll see later on to another video, it ain't that easy everywhere else in the world. Okay? So, what does that tell you guys? Is the dinar in demand? Yes. And it's not just speculative. It's not just speculative.
Does Alak and Mahandi have to be replaced before it goes?
Link Bear, you know this, and I love you. I want to see Alak. Alak should have been gone. But here, our friend that's in Iraq, the journalist, didn't tell us. They basically are saying hush-hush about Alak right now. Nobody knows what's going on with him. He's just like a ghost. He's not saying nothing. Okay? I don't think you're going to see Mahandi replaced as long as he performs the right reforms. And I don't think you got to see Alak replaced, even though I think Alak is a bigger piece of the corruption in Iraq than what people give him credit for. He is the elitist and he is the corrupt. Okay. Pimp, be safe getting your wife.
What happened?
White dove.
Well, we got 1 minute left in the show. You want to?
We'll wrap it up. Jason, I'll talk to you guys in, what, about an hour? You going to tune in for this next one?
Yes, sir.
All right, bro. I'll see you in an hour, okay?
All right, brother.
All right, bro. Love you, man.
Bro.
Bye, Jason. Love you.
Love you.
Love you now. Bye.
You want to go over the next part, the 9 o'clock show?
Okay, y'all. There's a premiere. We just scheduled it for 9 o'clock tonight. I'm not going to go over it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch it live with you, and then I'm going to do a live as soon as it's over, okay? So I don't want to say, you know, what I'm going to do. I'm going to just do what I kangaroo route. I'm going to do that. I'm good at that. Okay. I'm good at being a kangaroo. I ain't good at a lot of things.
And then if you want to have questions, they can call in.
Yeah. And if you want to drop some bombs, or you just want to call up and say, oh my gosh, and say, yeah, let's do our thing.
So we'll be back at our regular scheduled time, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, Texas time. And we'll have that video. It'll be very short. And then after that, we'll do another live. So we will see you guys shortly.
I can't wait to see y'all. The rain is gone.
So crazy. Uh-oh.